what's up, Elder Scrolls Nation? Skullzi here with some pretty interesting stuff regarding Bethesda. I just wanted to call out something they did, but don't worry, it's actually something that's pretty cool, and I wanted to give them a shout out because they're doing something that's awesome and shines some bright light during a dark time in the gaming industry. And at the same time, it gives us a little bit of insight into what we might see in Elder Scrolls 6, and at the same time, it kind of squashes a big discussion and rumor about what might be in the Elder Scrolls 6. And at the same time, it's pretty cool because we don't get to talk about anything Elder Scrolls 6 related too often, unless it's just some straight up discussion or rumors or something. And at the same time, I'm tired of saying "and" at the same time, so let's get into the video. So as you know, there is kind of a dark and scary trend going on in the gaming industry right now. Maybe it doesn't trip any of you out like it does some of us, but a lot of games are starting to go multiplayer only, or at least focusing more on multiplayer games. For instance, Battlefield campaigns aren't what they used to be, same thing with Call of Duty. Not that those games even matter when it comes to Elder Scrolls. But even games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, while I do enjoy the multiplayer aspects in those games, they're starting to get a lot more focused than they used to, which is fine. BioWare isn't treating that too bad. But a good example I could say is Rockstar Games with Grand Theft Auto 5. So, about Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto, a long time ago they said they would definitely be doing single-player expansions onto the storyline of the single-player game. They said that way early on. I think months after the game came out, they said they were planning on it, and they have been planning on it. However, something happened that changed everything. And that something is GTA Online did awesome. It made so much monies for Rockstar Games. It kind of surprised them to the point where they just focused all of their attention on Grand Theft Auto Online content. They said this themselves, and to further kick the raccoon in the face, they said that this is why they didn't make single-player content for GTA 5, because GTA Online took so much attention and did so well, and eventually they just kind of wanted to focus on Red Dead Redemption 2 by the time that they even thought about looking at single-player content again. So you can see there is kind of a trend going on in the gaming industry. This trend is naturally occurring. It's not evil or anything. Maybe it's a little bit evil because it has to do with greed. And I say that because as much as developers love to make single-player games and storylines and experiences, multiplayer games just make more money because, yes, you get a bunch of money when you sell your games, but people will buy loot boxes, as everyone is freaking out about EA over. People will buy premium subscriptions so they can get better content for their multiplayer things, so they could get better gear and shit before other people do. People just straight up buy gear sometimes if the games let you do it. They'll buy like the virtual online currency, and then they'll buy the expansions, the outfits, all that shit, so the game developers can get a renewal source of income and an extended duration of getting money from just making all this content. It takes a lot less work to make fucking outfits than it does to make a whole new game. So instead of waiting to get a bunch of money for making a whole new game, you can get a decent amount of money by making slutty outfits, a new armor, or like a little bit of an expansion pack using assets from the single player game as it was. You see what I'm saying? It's easier for them to do less work to make more money over a longer period of time than it is for single player games. Now with that in mind, a lot of gamers are freaking out and thinking that it's the death and the slow end of the single-player games as we know it. Because be real, man. And girls, I'm sorry, I don't want to trigger anyone. Anyway, get real, there's always going to be single-player games, but as Call of Duty and Battlefield and some of their games have shown us, the single-player games could be minuscule compared to the multiplayer element. Developers like BioWare may try and find a balance to this, which is cool, but the whole purpose of this video is about Bethesda Game Studios, Bethesda Softworks. Oh man, oh wow, they did something cool. Ooh, totally damn jeez. So let's check it out. At this year's Game Awards, this year is 2017, at the Game Awards this year, Bethesda started a new badass campaign, #SavePlayer1, where they had Linda Carter act out. She played Wonder Woman, in case you don't know. She acted out in a hilarious video to show off support for bringing back focus to single-player games and to try and cut out the microtransaction focus so that players don't feel like they're just being bombarded with being nickel and dimed to death. They want to buy a game and have that game, not buy a game and continue to buy that game forever or for a year or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So in order to promote focus on single-player games and at the same time promise their fans, Bethesda said, Save Player 1 is gonna be a new campaign, hashtag that crap all over the place, hashtag Save Player 1 and hashtag Elder Scrolls Nation at the same time for double experience points. I just think this is awesome because Bethesda is doing something to show us that they're not going to be on that multiplayer money grubbing bandwagon. And at the same time, Bethesda donated $100,000 to the Entertainment Software Association Foundation in an effort to grant scholarships to the next generation of developers. This will allow newer generations of people who want to follow their dreams of being game developers to have a way to get into college to do that. And at the same time, we're going to see more women and more diverse races. We're going to see some Khajiits and Argonians at Bethesda Game Studios making Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for this. Now, I know you're all wondering what the hell fuck does this have to do with Elder Scrolls 6? Well, in case it's not obvious, a lot of people are wondering if multiplayer is going to be in Elder Scrolls 6. Is Bethesda going to jump on that bandwagon and throw in some kind of multiplayer element into it? I talk about it in my complete guide to Elder Scrolls 6 as well as Describing the Scrolls podcast. We've talked about multiplayer. And for the first time, yeah, Bethesda kind of actually hints at this rumor, and it seems like probably there isn't going to be multiplayer in Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, when they start a whole campaign and throw $100,000 around and all this stuff about single-player games, I doubt that they're going to try and implement any type of multiplayer in the Elder Scrolls 6, especially because Elder Scrolls Online does a good enough job at bringing you into the multiplayer world of Tamriel. So I think they're going to keep multiplayer out of it, and in fact, probably when Elder Scrolls 6 is close to coming out, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm sure people will ask Bethesda about multiplayer, and they will go back to the Save the Player 1 campaign and say that no, there will be no multiplayer in this game. If you want multiplayer in Elder Scrolls, we're going to continue to support the MMO, Elder Scrolls Online. Go there if you want that. We're focusing on single-player games, and this actually goes with stuff that Bethesda has said before. They've said that they want to focus on single-player, that they just really don't have any multiplayer desires in their Elder Scrolls single-player games. And at the same time, Mike the Liar even tells us to shut the fuck up about multiplayer in Elder Scrolls games.
Some like taking friends on adventures. Mike thinks being alone is better. Less arguing about splitting treasure.
So if Mike hasn't convinced you, and if I haven't convinced you, let me know why you think that we might still see multiplayer in Elder Scrolls 6 in the comments below. If you want to be part of an awesome community of Elder Scrolls fans, make sure you hashtag that Elder Scrolls Nation all over your twatters and your face boobs and your goggles, plus make sure you subscribe to the channel to be part of Elder Scrolls Nation. Like that video and share it, that way Elder Scrolls Nation will never die. I don't know why I do that voice. Anyway, I want to make a strong community of Elder Scrolls fans, so Bethesda Game Studios knows that Elder Scrolls has a loving and strong horde of cult-like followers that will, I don't know, overdose on skooma and Nirnrit if they stop making Elder Scrolls. Not that I think that's gonna happen. Anyway, before I keep ranting on about crazy things and making this really awkward, as always, thank you for watching.